Hey Tom, thanks for joining us today. The idea of building trust in organizations is so commonly talked about. From your personal experience, to what extent would you say that this is a priority for organizations globally?
I think it's absolutely paramount. I mean, it goes to the the foundational culture of the organization, which then, from my experience and perspective, has everything to do with the organization's ability to execute on its strategic objectives and accomplish its goals, as well as develop and grow and flourish individuals serving inside the organization. So I think it's absolutely paramount to organizational success and ultimately survival. It's paramount from the standpoint of alignment of purpose, alignment of engagement, alignment of incentives, alignment of the work being done by individuals in the organization, so everybody understands not only where we're going and what we're aiming toward, but that everybody is all in and aiming toward the same objectives. Trust also goes to the ability to maintain that alignment when the organization is under pressure, when there are external competitive pressures or regulatory pressures or whatever they may be, or just pressures from within with folks pushing back, asking why, wanting to understand the direction of the organization. If leaders like myself, I need to be able to trust that the next layer and the next layer of leaders throughout the organization understand the objectives, that they feel as though they are engaged and included, and that they have had their questions answered, such that when they get pushed on why from the associates with whom they serve, that they can deliver the message consistently and not undermine or backpedal on the objectives of the organization. And all that's the ability of the organization and the leaders to trust one another. It also goes. It also is very much underpinned on the necessity of psychological safety, which psychological safety and trust within the organization are absolutely hand in glove. If it's not a psychologically safe environment and culture, you're not going to be able to build trust in the organization. Therefore, again, that will undermine the ability of the organization to execute on its objectives. And the other reason why trust is so important in organizations is that, to the extent that trust exists, the organization's risk tolerance and risk acceptance increases, and therefore they're willing to take calculated risks and chances that have the opportunity then to leapfrog the performance of the organization forward. Whereas organizations in which trust doesn't exist, they are tremendously risk averse and won't, in many cases, take advantage of opportunities that are available to them.
With trust, as you mentioned, so paramount to every organization, why do you think leaders, who I'm sure recognize this need for trust, fail to build trust? And what else do you think could be done in such situations to really help build trust within the organization?
Well, organizations and individuals are under all types of pressures, personally, competitively, from a regulatory perspective, from just pressures in the job market and the overall macroeconomics of the job market, et cetera. So that sort of pressure is always resident, always pressing in on the organization and emanating from within the organization. And so again, those can be natural barriers to building trust, just to the extent that those things exist. Which again is why it's so critically important that leaders recognize this isn't, the team's not just going to develop trust just because we all get in a room and assume that it's there. There needs to be a very purposeful, intentional effort to create and build trust through, starting through things like exercises where the team gets to know one another better, the Myers-Briggs, the Enneagram, those types of exercises that help folks not pigeonhole one another, but rather simply better understand perspectives that folks have, lenses through which they sort of view the world and the work, and their tendencies, where their natural strengths and tendencies are. And that then helps, when we're in a heated debate or conversation about a strategic initiative or analytics, et cetera. If I have a better understanding of how this person sort of thinks and views problem solving, then I can work to frame the way that I'm engaging in a way that has the best opportunity to sort of create alignment with that individual. And all those things then are founded in this sort of foundation of working to build trust and get to know one another better.